Warning: the following broadcast contains strong opinions, playful antics, and controversial topics causing off-the-rails fun. Chances for being offended are higher than average for sensitive people. Viewer discretion is not advised. Live a little and have some fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Coach's Box Call Like We See It podcast. Guess what? It's 2025, and it's been like 2.5 weeks since we've seen you guys. I'm Chris Miller, joined as always by, well, not always, but they're here. Most of the time it's Jason, but Zach McVey has decided to grace us with his presence because he doesn't have anything to coach right now. And Manny didn't tell him that he had to sit and pay attention to the dog. So, fellas,
I'm coaching basketball. What are you talking about?
Are you though? Right now?
Yeah.
No.
Well, not right this second. No. It's been a few days.
Yeah. Anyway, fellas, guess what? I haven't seen you guys since last year. It's been a long time. How's everything going right now? It's a little cold outside.
It's brisk.
Yeah,
it is absolutely brisk.
Can't don't really want to go outside in shorts.
It's a little chilly.
A little bit. Tidbit. But yeah, we've had we were supposed to have a complete slate of games at Fox High School for our boys and girls basketball teams. And Mother Nature said, hey, wait a minute, hold my beer. So here, have some ice. We have not had school all week. Our kids haven't been to school basically since we went on Christmas break. There's a chance that we will have school tomorrow, even though we have weather coming in. So how's that affected you guys?
I've enjoyed it.
I know you have. Virtual PD.
I'm in the same boat. We don't know if we're having school tomorrow or not. I'd be all about it. Just, hey, let's go into the new year on a fresh note on Monday, man. But if we got to go tomorrow, I'll show up and give it my 110% and get some people some knowledge about American history. And it'd be nice to play some basketball. I've gotten one practice this week, and that was today.
Yeah, we've only had two non-mandatory practices this week, today and yesterday. And it wasn't a lot of kids that could make it. The Fox district is pretty spread out, and we got a lot of back roads and hills and things like that, not just in the city of Arnold, which, by the way, Arnold city streets up until yesterday were pretty bad. But our kids are like, Coach, I can't make it. Their parents go, we love to send them to you. We want them to go, but we don't want them to risk.
We'd like
risk
their
lives getting there. So it's been tough, and that's something that, as a basketball coach for 20 years, having a winter sport, it's something that you have to deal with all the time.
So let's go right into it. And I want to ask you guys. Well, I just want to say,
cut me off.
We're back. It's a new year. You guys tell us as head coaches, how do you guys go through this type of situation to where it's multiple days? Now, what happened over Christmas break? Were you able to get ball games in? How does this go into obviously January? Let's just say you're out for the entire week. What does that do for you guys in terms of preparation going forward?
Oh, I was lucky today. We had our first non-mandatory practice, and I had 23 of my 28 there. So we basically got to have a regular practice today, which was pretty good. I mean, you just got to roll with the punches as a coach right now. I mean, tell them, hey, next opponent's so and so. You may want to get on huddle, check out some film. I know a couple of my kids went to the Y. A couple kids. I got a dad that does some basketball training on the side. He had his kid doing some basketball stuff. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's too cold, not safe for them to get out. I mean, as Daniel Watkins, Gabe's dad, just posted, Jeffco has a game Saturday and haven't had a practice all week. And we're supposed to play tomorrow, and we had our only practice today. So, and it was we were given a 1 to 5 window to have practice today, and so I had to get my 2 hours in, and the girls got to practice after that. And so it's a frustrating time, especially coming off Christmas break like we did after the Christmas tournament. Um, and we put on the JV tournament. I gave the guys, their first really days off. Now it's kind of come to bite me in the butt because we've been off a bunch. I gave them some days off there through New Year's, and then we practiced a few days and then been snowed in this whole week. So, I catching up on some film work, catching up on some stats and some other things, and just be ready to go when it's time.
I mean, you can only do what you can. I had this conversation with Big Jim. He wanted to ask why some of these schools aren't in session, and I said, well, it's kind of like this. As a coach, you can only do non-mandatory because you can't tell the kids. It's not like it used to be. And so I grew up in a generation where we just went and picked everybody up in trucks. We all piled in and we drove 4-wheel drive, get to school. We had practice. And it's just not the same as it was. So those days are gone. Matter of fact, when Coach Eddie, who I coached, my assistant coach, when I coached him at Grandview, me and Coach Davis, we go around with our trucks and pick kids up, get them in the truck and go pick them up, drive around Grandview School District for an hour and a half in the snow and go have practice for an hour and a half and then take them back home. So it made for a long day, but we got the kids to practice. Again, those days are gone and you can only do with what you can. I don't like sending kids to play a game without having proper preparation. Sometimes you have to. So you just got to see what you can get. As far as a superintendent, I would hate to be in a position where I would put kids in danger anyway. And with all, and I get it. There's all kinds of reasons why schools make the decisions they do, and it's not an easy job. But if I'm superintendent of school A and there's a chance, I'm just calling it off. Yeah. I would much rather just not have to worry about anybody getting hurt one which way or the other, whether it's because of a bus that part of our school district or a kid driving, off of his driveway and hitting something and getting hurt. And that's not my fault, but then we have school. So then somebody says, well, we should, we shouldn't have. If I'm a parent and they have school and I don't feel like my kid is going to be safe, I'm not sending them. And I don't blame any parent that does that. And if they don't, it is what it is. We'll deal with what we have to deal with as basketball coaches, as teachers, as administrators, all of them. And we're all in a tough spot when it comes to winter.
Well, I can give you a perfect example. As Alicia up there had to point out, last night, since we have been off, I did some DoorDash and I made $240 yesterday DoorDashing for about 6-7 hours or whatever. There you go. And I got to one of my last deliveries. It's like right down the street too, man. It's
where this is going.
Right in Williamsburg, and it's about, I don't know. I dashed until 1:30 last night. So, dude, it was big. I was like, oh, I'm going to go home. And then bam, $22 order. Well, shit, can't go home. I got to take the $22 order. And so I get to this house And you know how all your driveways have the little hump at the end, and then so the water runs off, right? And I'm like, you know, I won't step there because that could be, but I was pretty far away from that little hump, right? And I looked down and it looked like concrete, man. I thought it was concrete, right? I got 12-pack of Sprite in this hand. I got 2 other bags that I just bought for these wonderful people at Walgreens. And I no sooner took 1 step with my right foot, and the next thing I know, it wasn't even a second, and both my feet are up here above my head, and I'm on like this.
Wow.
On my right side, of course, on my surgically repaired shoulder side, and I laid there for a minute. I was like, "Oh my God, did I break anything?" I'm like, "Okay, I'm all right."
Am I dead?
I see this, that I broke the soda box open, so I'm picking up sodas. And I just sat there for a minute because I was like, I had to gather myself. I'm like, oh, thank God they didn't have a Ring camera. Thank you. And I got up, picked up the soda, walked it up to the door, and they hadn't cleared anything at their house. It was nothing. And their house was like on a driveway like this. And I put all of it up there. You know, take a picture of it or whatever. And I nicely messaged him. I said, "Hey, I'm sorry about your 12-pack. It's a little tore open. You may want to watch for the black ice at the end of your driveway. I busted my ass. Have a good night." Not a word from them. And
They're hoping not to get a lawsuit, probably.
Probably. And it wasn't their fault. I mean, I was actually in the street because of where,
solely your fault.
Yeah, you know,
you bit it.
I bit it, dude, and I bit it hard. Like, I thought, ooh, if I would have hit my head, I'd probably still be laying. I've been laying there. They've probably been calling me, "Where's my order?" You know, and I've been.
He's out.
But so that's the thing. School districts got to make those decisions, and it's not just. I'll never forget this.
With AMI days, man. It's a no brainer. It's
few years ago we had practice. They let us have practice after school, but if it started any precipitation, you had to leave. Well, we looked outside. I'm like, oh crap, we got to go. So we're leaving. Coach Buddy got stuck on I-55. It was that last ice storm we had a few years ago.
Yeah, I was there.
8 hours stuck on 55 trying to get home to Arnold. I felt this small.
Yeah,
I was so bad.
He was probably behind me because I was stuck in the same place, bumper to bumper. I was out walking the highway, with other people. Everybody's like, "Man, this is crazy," and I probably still have a picture somewhere. No, I'll tell you what, though, the delivery services. That's when it started icing Sunday and Monday. I just went out and got my truck. And I go, you know what? Let's go deliver some Instacart.
Gosh.
And in 2 days, I made $500 doing it. I don't regret anything. I took my time. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go do this. And I'll tell you what. And now, tonight, after practice, I'm like, I'll turn it on and see. So I did one, and then I did another one. And there was a $70 order from Costco to drive over to Fairview Heights. And I was like, okay, great. I'm going to do that. I get everything packed up. I'm pissed off about this still, so I'm going to vent since I'm on here. Tell you guys a story and everybody else who's listening. So I get everything packed up, and I'm driving over into Illinois, which if you don't know me, I don't like Illinois. So I'm driving over because I'm like $70, man. I got all this stuff. I get probably 5 miles from where I'm supposed to go, and I get this. All of a sudden, my little Instacart app just goes, resets itself and searching for batches, which is what you do. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm in the middle of one. They had canceled the order on me, and I shopped, got everything. Now Costco, which was absolutely insane tonight. Just so many people. It took me forever to get it, and I'm thinking, well, it's $70 and I'll do it. and I'll be back in time to get everything ready for the show. It took me an extra hour and a half, obviously, because I'm trying to message the Instacart people going, okay, do I get anything for this? Because, you know, I had one where I delivered, excuse me, in the snow the other day. People were ordering from a business that was closed. So I drove to the store, and it's closed because of the weather, which that's happened.
Mhm.
And now they got to cancel everything. And you get paid the delivery money. So I'm trying to get paid the money. The problem was, and I don't know, because they said it wasn't because the store was closed. This was a different deal. You know, it wouldn't be, the tip was so high that you don't get paid the tip money, you get paid the delivery money.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping that it gets through. I had to I take everything back to Costco, because if I wouldn't have taken it back, I'd have got charged for the groceries that they bought.
That's what I was going to ask. What happens in that situation? So it's funny.
So you have to take them all back. And this is what happens if someone, and the main reason was they bought alcohol, because they have to scan everything too. So they have alcohol. I got to take it back. And anytime that somebody doesn't have their ID or whatever, when you deliver alcohol, if they don't have it, you can't give it to them, because you'll get big trouble, and lose your DoorDash or Instacart, any of it. And then you got to take it back to the store. I'm like, oh my gosh, really? So they had like a fifth of vodka, Smirnoff or some crap. So I'm like, oh, God dang it. I mean, I was like, son of a, this was supposed to be just to do a couple and be done. And I'm going, $70 order. So yeah, I had to take it back. And the woman there was just like, you know, this has happened before. It's okay. And they go through and they scan everything.
You're sitting there thinking, this ain't okay. I just drove all the way to Illinois. Now
I drove Fairview Heights.
So I had an order last night. I go to Jack in the Box in Festus, okay? And I go in to get the order. And the kid, I don't know, he may not all been there, but he goes, I said, hey, I gave him the DoorDash name, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I'm sorry, we can't do the order. I'm like, what? What do you mean you can't do the order? Well, our cook left. I'm like, so why are you taking DoorDash orders? Well, we can't turn the machine off, but our second cook was supposed to be here, hadn't showed up. I go, none of you guys know how to cook? This is fast food. No.
Wow.
No, he's just the register drive-through guy. So I had to cancel the order, and then DoorDash was being a pain in the butt. And finally, I just canceled it with no pay, because I'm like, but I drove all the way to Jack in the Box. It was so stupid, but enough of that. You know, I'm not gonna lie though, it's good money. I mean, Dylan has to get brakes on his car before he leaves for college, and I said, well, we're off. I'm gonna make that $500 to pay for them brakes. I made $240 last night, and maybe when we get off of here, I might DoorDash some more, but I'm for sure going to DoorDash tomorrow and Saturday. So,
well, I'm hoping that we don't have school, because then that way I can double dip, and you know, that helps with Christmas and your property taxes and all the other stuff that you don't make from farming.
Still sitting up there.
Yeah. But you know, either way,
I'm one of the non-payer on time. Yep, that's me.
Yeah, they have fines for that. It's okay.
Yeah, I usually pay an extra 50 or so bucks on my property tax every year.
I'm gonna be late.
I'm gonna be late, and I'm not gonna pay until I get my income tax back. So you know.
Well, first off, who made the decision about income taxes being due in December?
And with real estate, think if you didn't have that in your loan. Holy crap! If I didn't have that in my loan,
it's insane. Why everything else fiscal year ends when? When? End of June, July, whatever, right there for business. Oh, but no, not you, Joe Public. You got to end in December 31st of that year. That's the stupidest. No, that's the third stupidest thing I've ever heard of. By the way, AMI rules are the dumbest thing ever. I really think it's stupid. Just make the time up. You can't advance. You can't do this other stuff. I don't know. I'll get into that another time.
I don't have to go till June, and we can have AMI days. I'm all in. Cash in AMI, baby.
That's fine. I mean, it's just the rules of what you are. I don't know if it's how you guys are, but I know our school rules when it comes to AMI. I'm not saying that they're great.
I'm laughing at Dennis Alexander's comment.
Yeah, we talk about crocheting next. Well, Dennis, we talk about whatever we want to.
Yeah. Hey, by the way,
show. This is a
that's
free
right.
show.
It's free. It's free, and you're watching it. So there you go. Why are you complaining? By the way, we want to welcome a new sponsor to the Coach's Box Call, like we see at podcast. Elite Collectibles. You'll see their commercial run. If you're a person like me and Zach, and Jason has some baseball cards somewhere in his house, and you collect cards, don't forget to visit Elite Collectibles. They're in Imperial. They're open 7 days a week now from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So if it's one of those times when you're not available, don't worry. You can go on the weekend. They've got a selection of sports cards, magic cards, Pokemon cards. They got all kinds of stuff, supplies for those. And you can also submit your cards for grading purposes through SGC and CGC. They do that bulk grading stuff. So don't forget to check them out. We really appreciate them being a sponsor of the show and being a part of this. We love supporting local businesses, and they are, they're local. They've been open for, I think, a little over a year, and they're really great people, to go in there and try to find. I mean, real good customer service. They really are.
I guess say very knowledgeable, very personable, nice store. I mean, it's pretty immaculate up there. So
it's right there by the Jack in the Box in the gas station off Imperial Main Street.
Jack in the Kraken. Okay.
Yeah. So right across from the old Scotties.
So they can tell me if I have any cards worth anything.
Jason, I can tell you if you have any cards worth anything.
Yeah.
No, you don't trust me? Ask Zach. Zach will tell you, and he won't.
I remember us. I remember going to Fox this year. We're playing a JV game, varsity game. So I mean, whatever. For one squad,
go to a JV game and a varsity game broke out.
Still bringing that up.
A JV game and a varsity squad on one side. I mean, you do what you got to do.
Whatever. Anyway.
Prison rules, huh?
That's what. Hey, you got to win at all costs. That's what some people are,
Captain Asano shows no mercy.
Yes.
Wow.
Now I'm wearing the Blues because it's the only sports team worth a crap in St. Louis, and we're up 6-1 right now in the second period. And against the, I guess they're not called the Mighty Ducks anymore, are they? Or what are they called?
Anaheim Ducks.
Yep. Anaheim Ducks, I guess Mighty Ducks, same difference.
They should still be the Mighty Ducks. It's the stupidest thing.
I know. Why would change all these mascots? Just like the Wash did whatever they are, the Redskins. They're always
the
Redskins to be. Just like Cleveland's always going to be the Indians.
Hey, I thought they changed. I thought they're
no. They said that they didn't cancel the logo for that. So that's what so they could bring back the retro jerseys and have the Redskins on them. But they're not changing the name. I think now they should start a petition to change the name. Let's just do that. They started they uncancel the logo. That's step number 1. Step number 2.
Is this the area? Is this the era of being uncanceled?
I mean, it kind of seems that
so we have the cancel era. Now it's
we all because everybody goes, wait, this is stupid. You can't say or do anything. That's why there's no even good comedy stand-up comedy shows anymore. Because everybody's afraid to say something. God forbid somebody gets offended. It's freaking comedy, people. Shut up.
You know what you're going to.
You're going to get made fun of. And your race and your gender and your ethnicity and everything else is going to get made fun of because that's what comedy is. So deal with it. Jeez, can't laugh at yourself. You got a problem anyway.
Hey.
Zach laughs.
I believe me, I laughed at myself yesterday and my feet were above my head.
God, I wish we'd had a video. We'd all been laughing at you.
I'm still sore from it.
Coach Rhodes, we can keep the Chiefs, but not the Redskins because it's the Chiefs. It's not a derogatory term that some white person named Karen thought that would be bad for people who are Native American. So that's kind of why.
But we kept the Braves, but not
Oh, yeah, I know. Come on.
That's not how it goes, but it's okay.
Whatever. However,
it's all good. Yeah. All right, Zach, let's actually get into some topics. We got about a few minutes before we need to go to a break. Go ahead. Let's actually talk about some sports. Well, Dennis Alexander needs to start talking about some stuff. It's not crochet.
Got to get us fixed there. I don't know. So if you're paying attention right now, you've got the college football playoff on. So you've got Penn State. They're up on Notre Dame 10-3 at half. Guys, have you had a chance to watch all this bowl season and then the playoffs as well? What are your thoughts on it? Tell me a little bit about, how you feel regarding the playoffs. And then we can kind of get into some specifics later with some schools, programs, coaches, players, all that. So playoffs, has it been a positive, net loss? What's your thoughts?
Go ahead, Jason.
Well, I mean, Texas is still in the playoffs because they didn't call targeting, but I mean, that was that game brought it back. Like at first I'm like, man, these games suck. And then that game broke out, and that game was one of the best games I've watched all year. I don't know. I think we still might have too many teams maybe at 12. I don't know. Yeah. I mean,
well, so all of the teams that had buys go 0-4. Okay. Now, my theory on that is the fact that you can't go a month or however many weeks that they had without playing.
31 days.
They're still okay. Okay. There you go. They're kids. They're going to get bored. Okay. We're literally the TikTok generation of 30 seconds and that's it. They're probably like, where's my new NIL deal? Like, I want to transfer. They're done. They're over with. Okay. I mean, this again, why I'm asking you guys, and I know you all got to play over break, but like, think about teams that maybe didn't get in a Christmas tournament and then they had this. It's 3 weeks. They're checked out. They're probably like, when
I get my baton, run track,
right? So I mean, do you think that's a problem? And if it is, how do they fix it?
Well, I mean, how they fix it is they do away with these conference championship games, which are stupid in themselves because the effect that they have on the seeding and the people who are in makes a huge difference. I mean, we've already proven that Clemson didn't need to be in, and if you're going to put SMU in, that's fine. But they shouldn't have been as seated as high as they were either. So to me, it's the conference championship games create that extra week that you don't need. Just do away with it and just say you're the top team. And then you have the people who win the conferences. And then you have your at-larges. And then you reseed it from there. That's the thing is we talked about this stuff with high school sports and what what Missouri needs to do as far as, get rid of the third place game and bring 8 teams in and reseed it. And I've heard that many times, and you have a seed meeting for it. I'm not opposed to that with having a selection committee that selects the teams and then seeds them, and you use the rankings that are out there based on that anyway, because that's what they should mount to something in college sports, because why have them? These people are supposed to be either coaches polls, and the AP it's a national thing, so they should. It just made for the first part of the playoffs really bad, and to be honest, Texas should have lost. So right now, as much as it pains me to say, whoever wins between Texas and Ohio State, I'm picking to win it all, because I don't think either one of these two teams are going to beat the winner of that game. Sorry. And I will say this. I do not want to be on the show if Ohio State wins the national championship. The very next day, I do not want to be on the show because I sure as hell don't want to listen to that crap for however long. Don't want to. Don't like Ohio State.
especially when the dude hasn't been on the show. I think we need to put something into effect. You get suspended after you miss so many shows. Well, I guess then we'd never have a show if we did that with some of you.
That's true.
Right.
But I am not gonna. No, Ohio. I don't care who wins it. Anyone but Ohio State. Anyone but.
And it's not just Jim. It's just
No.
Ohio State fans can be very annoying.
Smug.
Just very annoying. It's like, well, the SEC's not very good this year, huh? Well, you guys have been cheating and paying guys
we'll
for
bring
years.
that up here in a second.
You used to buy kids tattoos to get them to come there.
Right.
Don't even act like you're innocent. Right. Please stop.
Well, okay. So, I mean, you're talking about the SEC. They obviously did not do well in a lot of their bowl games. Now, Mizzou, so they did well. But is there something to that? That are we not going to see a Bama? Are we not going to see? Is Georgia's run over?
What do you think? I'm laughing at Rod Rhodes.
Wow.
What's he saying?
He said Jim is the worst. That's what happens when you're not here. Jimbo.
Wow.
Man.
Dude, this is going. Hey. I'll just leave that one up there. That's good. That's good. I'm not touching that one. But I think the time off. But look what it's done in other sports. I mean, look at the time that baseball gives off when you have the bye as the top team in your league. Those teams don't tend to do well in the new playoff format. So I especially when you have a winner go home situation, I don't know if I like having the bye for them. Put 16 teams in. What's wrong with that? Because you're still those teams are still playing during that week, right? The teams that don't have a bye, let them freaking play. Everybody plays. Just play the games and reseed those teams. To me, it doesn't make any sense not to. So what if you're going to have 12, then you got to figure out, you got to do away with the time gap in between. And then to me, the conference championship games are pointless.
They're pointless. Screwed Mizzou out of national.
Why? Okay. Why is that? True. Because winning a conference matters. Like, it means something. Why all of a sudden the change?
But you're also the same person who says it doesn't matter because they're all moving and let's have 5 conferences and go with that. It's the same thing. That's what you said. So does it matter? No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
Well, does Georgia play better with their starting quarterback? Dave says. Well, I don't know. Yeah. Why are they even in the playoffs? Because we kicked Florida State out the year before. This is what I don't understand. The year before, Florida State's starting quarterback goes down. They're out of the playoffs, undefeated, right?
Yep.
Georgia's starting quarterback goes down, but they're still in. Make that make sense.
Well, it's a new system, Jason. It's a new system. And the system is different.
Well,
under this system, we're not doing that. That was the old system. Now we're doing the new.
And I am with Dave.
Well, Georgia also won the conference tournament, so that's why. I mean,
but when did Beck get hurt?
When did he get hurt? I thought he got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt. He got hurt in the Notre Dame game.
Well, I mean, that was the first. That was the first round of the playoffs.
I know, and they lost.
Did he get hurt? First game of the playoff.
Correct.
Yeah, he got hurt before that.
When did he get hurt?
Before that, yeah.
Before that.
Which was
SEC
championship game.
SEC, yeah. Yeah.
So there you go.
Just
So you
like
win the conference championship, yay! And you get bounced because your starting quarterback got hurt. Why play in it? You're going to make the playoffs. Why play in it?
Okay, that brings me. Well, that's a whole new. That's for another.
Play your
segment.
scrubs in the conference championship game. You're already going to make it, and now you have a chance to win a national title. Georgia had enough talent. Look at the top 4 teams right now in the college football playoffs: Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, and Notre Dame. This isn't exactly the best 4 teams you've ever seen in your life.
Arguably Texas. I mean, arguably Texas. You know, Ohio State. Well, Ohio State is coming off.
Who won the SEC? Who won the SEC? Who won the SEC? Zach?
Georgia.
And who they beat?
Texas.
And Texas only scored 19 points in that game, and they've got 2 quarterbacks that are pretty good. So what happened? Oh, they're not the best team. So
that's why you play the games too, though. I mean, I hear you, but that's why you play the game. Otherwise, if you're just going to do it on paper, we do away with all of it and give Oregon the national champion.
Well, that's what they basically did with Florida State. Florida State last year was on paper. Oregon? Florida State was on paper.
Okay, they didn't get in.
So think about that. Okay, so look at what I'm saying. So Georgia wins the SEC, Oregon wins the Big Ten, Clemson wins the ACC. Where are these guys at?
Well, that's the whole argument about that's the whole argument of why, because they had to wait. Like they had X amount of days, whatever you said, 30 some odd days in between games.
That was December 7th. Okay. Those games were December 7th.
It's almost 30 days, whatever.
So yeah. Then your next week is your Army-Navy week, because God forbid Army-Navy plays on a freaking day that everybody else does. So they give it that last week of the season, which is week 16, is all that. And salute to anybody in the armed services. But when it comes to college football, no, Scott, no. So your next game for these teams, Georgia played on January 2nd. Oregon plays on January 1st. Mm-hmm. It makes a difference giving these kids the time off. They don't need that time off. It messes with the entire playoff thing. You can't tell me that, it's finals. We are living in a digital age, man. They ain't going to be in class. They ain't had to be in class back then either. Let these kids just do what they got to do and go. Come on.
They're in general studies.
Underwater basket weaving online.
It's like the UConn coach said, let's just forget it. It ain't collegiate sports anymore.
I've been telling you guys that for a long time. Y'all act like I'm crazy. I'm just saying.
Mr. Langhauser, you're probably one of the only ones to think that.
So this goes back to, and you guys can answer it, is this. Because you said it's pay to play, it's no longer amateur sports, are we never going to see a Bama? Are we never going to see, is Georgia's run dominance over due to this pay to play? Are we going to see more parity? If so, is that a good thing for the sport? So 2-part question. Are we going to see dynasties? And then is it good for the sport?
No
dynasties?
No, because
and then add the transfer.
If you have all these different games that you can play, that like the SEC championship and the Big Ten championship, which have no bearing on the playoffs, really they don't, because those teams, especially in those conferences, are in. Okay, so everybody who played in those 2 championship games is in. Hell, both teams that played in the ACC championship game were in. So there's 6 teams right there out of 12. It doesn't matter. Then somebody's going to lose there, have to sit and wait, and then they're going to lose because they waited. So if they were the dominant team and they won the national championship because the year before they didn't play in that game and then they won it, then the next time around, they're going to be that dominant team playing in that game, and then they're going to have to sit and wait because of a bye. They're going to get bounced because this is going to be the same problem that they're having. And then you take into account the transfer portal and the window of these guys having to make a decision on if they're staying or going, because the NCAA is the Wild West and nobody runs it and nobody's in charge of it and they have no control over this. So no, you won't see a dynasty. Done. That's the shortest way I can say.
Why can't they? And again, Chris, I agree with you with the whole Army Navy week. Why can't they start playing that week, at least bowls, the whatever, who gives a crap bowl, but like, why can't they can still do the New Year's bowls, but like, why can't they go ahead and back everything up a week and end the season a week earlier, so all of these teams can play? Yeah, but you know what?
I
get it, but you know what? Money means a whole lot more.
Zach, we've done it this way. You've heard that before. We've always done it this way.
Right. That's it.
Why would we change this stuff? Even though it's crap. We've always done it this way. Like that gosh dang Crystal City tournament. We've always done it this way. Well, that's stupid.
So here's the thing. The NCAA is wanting to do stuff they used to do and then do new stuff. And they got their foot in both. And they're just sitting there doing the splits because both are going away from each other. They don't make any sense to have your New Year's bowls playing the same schedule format that you have right now with the conference championship games played on December 1st, 2nd, 3rd, whatever, and having your New Year's bowls like they are now. What they should do is, if you want to keep the tradition and you want to play your New Year's bowls as they are and however you divvy them up and seed them or whatever the hell they do, which is stupid anyway, you need to go ahead and back the season up. That's what they should do. Instead of having, because you could give, if you want to give those top teams that they get the bye, if you wanted to give them a bye, then they're playing, if they're playing in the January bowl, January 1st, then your playoffs have to start a week before that. And then before that, you should have your games ending. So your game should be ending on December 21st, give or take, right around there, right? 19th, whatever it is.
Ron Rhodes' girls team played, yeah.
So yeah, that's when they should do that, and then go right into the first round, and there's your bye week for your top team, and you're only off for 2 weeks. That makes more sense than having a month off, which makes 0 sense. And I mean absolutely less than 0 cents, especially with what we have. Now, if you don't care about, and I don't disagree with that, 0 buys, but you can't have a 12-team bracket playing 0 and having no buy with a buy. Somebody has to get a buy the way it's set up. Put 16 teams in and start them right then. Give that the Army-Navy week is your week off, and then you have your bowl week start. And then the next week you're playing the first round of the college football playoffs, which turns around and is the exact same.
But it still all has to go.
Week 16.
It still all has to go back to money.
Or week 16 is.
It still has to come back to money because you're going to have all of these different sponsors.
You mean you think money?
Yeah, sponsors, competition. That's the whole issue, at least in my opinion. But like, you could have a special time frame for the Army-Navy game. Make it that's the only game at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and then have all of your bowl games 11 a.m. up through 3 o'clock. Start at 3. I don't know. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way for the kids and coaches because they've checked out. But speaking of checking out, Chris, I think it's about time. I think we belabored the point enough. Why don't you take us to the break?
Yeah, I mean, we're only 44 minutes in the show without a commercial. It's okay, though. We had a good time. We haven't seen each other since last year, so
Exactly.
there's a lot to catch up on.
Yeah,
That's right.
Mhm.
You are watching the Coach's Box. This is episode 220. We will be right back.
I'm the guy sitting next to your girl on the kiss cam.
And this game just got a lot more interesting.
Sheila? Mom?
Fire!
And if you don't have the right home coverage, you might have to kiss your savings goodbye. Let's go, beat it. So get Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Bro! Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
It's Between Takes with Daikin and Dave Mars.
Good. All right, next setup.
Hey Dave, we got another question about energy savings. And this is a good one.
Yeah, efficiency is so important.
Didn't you just talk with Daikin about this?
They said energy efficiency is the key to a happy marriage. She gets the temperature, I get the savings.
Good to know. I'll tell them to check with their local Daikin dealer.
All right, back to one.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com. In the hobby of collecting, check out Elite Collectibles, open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. They carry a wide variety of sports cards, trading cards, magic cards, Pokemon cards, and other non-sports cards. Need some supplies? They also have sleeves, top loaders, boxes, and much, much more. They have online auctions every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and also do bulk grading submissions to SGC and CGC. Check out Elite Collectibles at 1258 Main Street in Imperial, Missouri. You can also view their entire inventory at www.elitecollecting.com.
You need new entertainment. You need full-length content. You need the Real Fresh channel. Hey, I'm Health Fresh from the Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today on YouTube. We have new content. We are a network of podcasters putting out new stuff every single day. Whether you need sports, pro or college, whether you need comedies, whether you need pop culture, whether you need wrestling, we've got so much content on there. Gaming, check it out. Live, not live, we've got it all. The Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today.
Hello, welcome back to the Coach's Box. Call like we see it podcast. This is episode 220. And if you like our show, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, whatever platform you're watching on, whether you're watching it on Facebook, YouTube, or on the all-powerful X. We appreciate you guys tuning in and being a part of this, whether you're watching us live or later or on delay or on tape delay like Bruce Valroy is. Either way, we appreciate you guys tuning in. So we were going on about our college football playoff thoughts and feelings. Zach, what is next on the docket for topics since you are the show runner as far as idea guy?
Well, let's right. I mean, there's been a boatload of stuff that's happened. Let's just kind of get into some NFL news and notes
since last year.
Some news and notes with the NFL. You had obviously we're going to have the playoffs, but let's get into all the different coaches that have been fired and all the different programs and kind of get your thoughts on all this. So you've had
well, let's start with one.
Go ahead. All right.
The
Giants.
The Giants.
What?
The Giants. Yep.
The GM is keeping his job.
that's the other thing. So Chris brought this up. So I'm gonna piggyback off of that because of what you reminded me of. Yes, both of them should be gone. How do you, if you're Philadelphia, how do you not let Saquon Barkley play and try to break the record? Like, how do you justify, hey, we're going to sit? You're not guaranteed going to the Super Bowl. He's there and has a chance of making a record.
Like, name goes down.
Yeah, with an extra game.
Goes down in all history of football.
Yeah. It's in 17 games.
Still, he would have had,
which is a dumb number of
carries,
games anyway.
Less carries. So
okay, they don't know how to tackle nowadays. I don't know if you understand the difference.
He's got an excuse
in
for
football
everything you say,
in the 80s.
Right. That's all.
Right,
That's it. Hey, why don't we try something other than the flex? No.
We did. It didn't work. We had to go back to something else. We had to go back to it.
But no, I mean,
okay,
you're the decision maker. Do you play him or do you sit him? And why?
I wonder what his take was on it. Did he want to play?
Oh, he said all of the right things, right? He came out and said, listen, I'm a team guy first. All this, right? Like, how do you not? I don't know. I just, you're not guaranteed going to the Super Bowl, but you're however many, a handful of yards away from that. Like, I don't know. I am in the mindset of going back to the playoffs or the Patriots with Brady and their linebacker Teddy Bruschi and all, saying, "Hey, we're trying to win. We're winning." Herm Edwards, you play to win the game. Like, I'm gonna go out and play. Makes no sense.
I don't
go
like
ahead,
it.
Jason.
I think he should be playing to get the record. I think it's stupid. I understand. Let him get the record, then sit him if you're that worried.
Well, I mean, the quarterback for Miami, he got the record and he sat.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is kind of dumb. Now, hey, Dennis brings up, and Dennis hits the nail on the head for me and the same thing. I mean, he gets hurt and he's done. Now, Sirianni, if he loses, he's probably ran out of town anyway. Okay? Either way. But, I mean, you remember with that movie Friday Night Lights?
Boogie Miles.
Boogie Miles is run all over the place. And next thing you know, he's done. So you don't want to put yourself in that situation and have arguably your best player get hurt. And that can't happen.
The only caveat that I will agree to is the fact that Jalen Hurts is hurt and probably most likely won't play. So I'll give you that. Like, I will give you that part of it. But again, you're not guaranteed going to the Super Bowl, let alone winning the Super Bowl. It's not like they're like, well, hey, here you go. You're the 1 seed. You just roll out the red carpet.
How many yards does he need?
It's over. Now I'm going to have to look it up. But you guys go ahead and talk, and I'll look it up.
One?
I don't know. I mean, if I'm him, I want to play. I'm glad he went out and said all the right things because that does look better. Doesn't look like a selfish thing. He had a heck of a year. He arguably, first off, made the Giants look incredibly stupid for not bringing him back, which I love because I think the Giants are a trash organization. He did rush for 2,000 yards. So, for me, I think, that's a great year. 5.8 yards per carry and 13 touchdowns. It obviously cemented himself.
My day when they wore leather helmets,
the best,
and all that stuff.
But
we would have played. We would have
100 yards. 100 yards. Yeah, 101 yards he needed. Yep.
He would have broke it. I mean, they played the Giants, right? That last game they played the Giants.
Make me look that up. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they.
It
played
was
the
because that was the whole issue because they wanted.
Yeah,
they were like, "Hey,
wasn't
go
that-
ahead and break it. Go ahead and break it against the team that wouldn't sign you." Yeah, that's who it was.
Wasn't it Drew Lock? Didn't that the game Drew Lock went off?
No.
What?
What?
It
Maybe.
was the last game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Pretty sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Come on, Zach, get together. If you're gonna bring up the topics, you need to know what's
Drew
going
Lock
on.
had like 5 touchdowns. I mean,
Yep.
Cost them the number
Hey,
one
great
seed
for-
or number
Well,
one
I was
draft
they
pick. I mean,
should have
excuse
been
me.
playing Lock all year, and that mess they had going
No,
on.
they lost. Eagles beat the Giants. It was not. Mm-mm. Yeah.
Did they?
I'm looking at it. Yeah.
That was the game before. That was the
Yeah.
game before. Yeah.
Come
That
on,
was the-
Chris.
Yeah, I think
Everybody
they won
say
the game
something.
before. They should. I don't know.
Yeah, week before.
Ended up being a 20-13
Yeah.
game. So there you go. Either way, I mean,
But
he
go
would've got
ahead.
it.
Going back to the coaches, and you brought up this. How does the Giants GM keep his job after? I mean, his son said it on Hard Knocks. Hey, go ahead. I'd want to draft Daniels. That's the QB. I'd say keep whatever he said. He said keep Saquon, resign him, and go pick up Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously he didn't listen. And
Who did they
yeah,
draft?
that
The
was
receiver,
terrible.
Neighbors?
Yeah, Neighbors. Yeah.
I'm not sure who they drafted. It doesn't even matter. Again, trash organization, Giants, terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Finished 13-14. And again, it's really hard for me to say a NFL record that has 17 games. To me, it's just a weird number to have. They shouldn't have 17 games. It's either 16 or 18, but it's stupid. Anyway, because I'm sitting there thinking it's a 3-13 season. No, it's 3-14 because we got to have.
Well,
17
they're
games.
trying to put forth them playing 18. So
might as well shoot. Just let them go ahead and play.
Next thing you know, we'll be playing 25 games.
Yeah, another reason
like
why
basketball, like the Denslow Cup.
Yeah.
With all
the Denslow Cup.
Who knew? I say this every time so often.
I know.
Who knew they were right?
Yeah.
Who knew they were right?
So the Giants are a trash organization. The Panthers end up winning more games than anybody ever expected them in the history of mankind to win this year. They went 5-12. Beat the Falcons last game of the year in overtime, and Bryce Young looked okay. I mean, after he got benched for the almighty redhead Andy Dalton, who then got hurt and then got thrown back into the starting quarterback spot. So that's the surprise. The Bears, lost their 10-game losing streak, beating the Packers on a last-second field goal. I listened to that game the other day while I was Instacarting. That was an interesting game. And then I think the biggest blunder of all, and I could be wrong, this is my take. The Patriots beat the Bills last game of the year, cost them the top pick in the draft, and then fire their coach, who was only there for a year, Rob Mayo. What are you doing?
Their president, he was talking about how such a bad position he put Mayo in and blah, blah, blah. And basically Kraft was saying it was his fault. But you fired him. It's your fault, but you're fired. And then Raiders love Pierce, and they fired him.
Yeah. I liked Antonio Pierce better than I liked Gerard Mayo.
What happens?
I mean,
Steve Spagnuolo, he's got to get one of those, right? He's going to get one of those jobs.
I don't know. His second team defense didn't do very well against the Broncos.
I just explained to me.
Did you wait?
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Chris.
Just remind me to come back to this.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, why would you hire a guy?
So I saw in the. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, why are you gonna hire a guy for 1 year? Hire a guy for 1 year and then you fire him. It makes No sense. No sense in the world.
There's been a long list of coaches that have had that happen to them, Zach.
I just don't get it.
A long
I
list.
don't. It makes no sense to me. Why a professional?
Drew Bannister was hired, and they fired him in the middle of the year for a better coach. That's what happened with the Blues. Happens more in hockey, by the way. Here's the crazy thing. So I saw this on, I think it was on Twitter or something, where Carson Wentz, who came to the game dressed like a big, he's got all this very flamboyantly dressed, and it was like, imagine you're Carson Wentz and you're looking at yourself in the mirror, and your wife comes over, adjusts your coat or something, gives you a big peck on the cheek and says, good luck. And then you go out there and think this is the time that you're going to prove yourself. You've got this, huh? Da, da, da. And you go and get absolutely lambasted by the Broncos and don't even score a point. And it was just really funny because they got absolutely hammered and he looked like crap. But yeah, they talk about, hey, you got an opportunity to win 16 games. Only one other team's done that. Chiefs didn't care. They got bigger sights set. I kind of look at it like this. If Philadelphia thinks they're going to win, have a chance to win it, then you just don't play your guys and you just go with it. Sit him and let him get healthy and then go.
All right.
But,
so where
go ahead.
Who goes where? I mean, if you're picking a coach, if you are New England, is that because you fire Mayo because without a doubt you're going to somehow get Vrabel? Or look at all of the other Chicago who you got a QB. They got blocked by Dallas, with McCarthy. So who's going to wind up going where, in your opinion? Any places that you would be like, this is going to be a great landing spot?
Well, everybody who fired their coach is a dumpster fire organization. There are so many bad teams in the NFL that have terrible ownership and terrible GMs and terrible cultures because everybody's chasing either, the franchise quarterback with terrible draft picks. They don't re-sign the players that they need to, or, your general manager or team president or owner or all the above, if they're Jerry, make terrible decisions and then blame the coaches and the players for their terrible decisions. And you've got more of them right now than what you probably had ever, to be honest. I mean, we've got some really bad NFL teams. Starting with the Cowboys, they're awful. The Bears are there too. The Jaguars are always going to be bad because they just can't change their culture. It starts with the general manager. Doug Peterson obviously didn't run the show like he should have. Think about the Colts that Andy Aguilar or whatever, who does all those NFL meetings. They're on year 12 of their rebuild, their 5-year rebuild. So they've been bouncing back and forth to Joe Flacco. What's his name?
Richardson.
Phillip Rivers played there one year. I mean, they've got Richardson, and then they keep bouncing back and forth. So they're awful too. The Patriots are now a dumpster fire.
Tennessee.
The Giants are, of course, are. The Saints are terrible.
Browns.
Tennessee is. Okay,
Browns.
The Raiders have been bad. And don't let me forget
New
about
Orleans.
the second coming of the Browns. 39 starting quarterbacks since 2002. 39 starting quarterbacks for the Browns.
Whew.
And the Bengals have the guy who threw for the most yards, the most touchdowns, and the receiver who won the triple crown in receptions, yards, and touchdowns could make the playoffs. Again. Oh, and the Falcons are bad too.
Yeah. Didn't say the Jets. I mean,
yeah, I forgot. There's so many, it's hard to remember them all. You've got more bad teams than you have good teams.
There's a lot of bad teams out there.
Okay,
it's bad football to
watch. Is it top heavy? And if it is, why? Why is it top heavy?
Because people who are running these teams suck at their jobs. Okay, the Niners have a good organization. Everybody was hurt on their team, so 6-11, understandable. They had McCaffrey
Well,
out for
they're the
most of the
Niners
year.
too. They're almost always competitive.
They're
I
the
mean,
Niners. They'll bounce back and be okay next year, and they'll
well,
be
do
a
you
team that'll
sign
be
Purdy?
in the hunt.
You
Yeah,
have to. He's worth that much.
Yes.
I mean, you're gonna pay him big millions, big boy money.
No, I got to. I'm pay him, and then what I'll end up, he'll get big boy money, but he won't get as much guaranteed money. So when I do dump him after he sucks, and I can find somebody better or I draft somebody better, then I turn around and cut him, and I don't have all this dead cap space, just like they do with every single big, what they used to do with these big quarterback contracts, like when they signed Joe Flacco and the Ravens cut him. Well, they owed him so much money, but they're not guaranteed contracts. So I don't have to pay him all that money unless I give guaranteed money, which is why Deshaun Watson's contract is the worst contract ever because they can't dump him. It's all guaranteed money. It counts against the cap.
And he's got enough money to get massages for the rest of his life.
Hey,
I think he probably bought a massage parlor or two, by the way.
I hope
endings are happy here.
Yeah, and you know,
ooh, Watson's happy endings.
It's no longer the factory of sadness. Is that what you're saying?
No, that place still is. It's the place next to it that he bought. The road. If the road it ends, he should buy whatever building at the end of the road and say Watson's happy ending. That should be it's the end of the road there, because like his career, it's the end of the road.
Oh, his career! Wow, what a career!
What,
yeah,
2 years?
What a waste
3
of
decent 2 years, maybe, if that.
My gosh, what a drop off!
Made a lot of money though. He made a lot more money than Sam Bradford.
Hey, Kirk Cousins, you talk about a dude that's won one playoff game.
Kirk Cousins he's a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson.
He's won one playoff game.
See, this is the other thing too. Why would these guys ever leave a situation? If I'm Brock Purdy, I stay where I'm at. If I'm Sam Darnold, I stay where I'm at and I take less money, because why go to a place? Look what Cousins did. He left, he went there, and he's not having the success. He had more success in Minnesota. He should have just stayed there.
I just
should have stayed there, took whatever money.
Hold on, time out. Chris,
they didn't want to pay him.
Chris, you've always said go get the money while you can. Now you're changing tunes.
Yeah,
that's what he did.
No. Yeah, go get the money. He could have made plenty of money where he was.
I really
plenty of money, the most money. Like you always say, you're not guaranteed all that. Go get as much as you can. That's what you've always said.
And now, okay, and then now he's lost his job to Penix Jr. and he'll never get money, because when he gets cut, Zach, I just said it. It's not guaranteed money.
Right.
If it's guaranteed money, I go get the most money I can get.
Mm-hmm.
NFL contracts are not set up to be guaranteed contracts. They leave them the out because of the chance of injury.
Right.
If I'm in baseball, I take as much money as I can get. If I'm in the NBA, I take as much money as I can get. Mm-hmm. I want the money. If I'm in the NFL, I want the best situation so I can make the most money.
Or you set up your contract to get incentives, and then if you're Jerry Jones, you sit the QB when he's got a chance to make it golly. Tell me that.
I would never sign contracts like that.
Cold-blooded.
Well, there you go. Why do they suck? Why do they suck? There you go.
Oh, okay. But you bring this up about Kirk Cousins. He's still probably better than, again, you named all of these bad teams. So he's going to go find a landing spot. He's going to go make some money. And let's
if they cut him.
Well, then he's still going to get paid. I mean, again, whatever. But then look at Aaron Rodgers. Is he going to stick with it? I would. He was top 10. He was top 10 in a lot of stats. If nothing, top 12. I mean, heck, he put up great numbers.
What?
Yeah. Go look at his yards. Go look at his touchdowns.
I'm going to have to look it up.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Everybody.
I didn't think she had a chance of throwing for 4,000 yards, and he was close.
Yep. Oh
wow.
yeah. Like I say,
That's awful.
Yeah. He's still
Dude,
going to be a better option than
he could still wing it. I mean, he still had 28 touchdowns to 11 interceptions.
All right.
Yeah, but in today's NFL, I don't know if 11 interceptions is any good.
Well,
I mean,
he again, top 10 in the stats, or at least top. Again, he's good enough to be a starting QB.
Oh, he was eighth in the NFL. He was eighth in the NFL in passing yardage. He's only behind he's behind Patrick Mahomes by 30 or 40 yards.
There you go.
And Mahomes, he had more touchdown passes than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why would you
the
not
Jets
pick him up?
The Jets if I'm in somebody else, I don't want to play for the Jets.
No. I'm just saying.
I don't want to play for them.
Should he retire? Should he retire? Or I don't think he should. I think he's going to go someplace else. The problem is, if you ever watched his documentary on Netflix,
I just got done watching it. I do feel a little differently about him.
After the Hard Knocks?
After Enigma. Have you watched it?
I know, but we talked about how he was at Hard Knocks.
Dude, I love
and how great
Knocks.
of a dude
he was. Great.
Okay,
and even in Enigma, if you talk to the players on the Jets, they all loved Aaron Rodgers. Like the pep in their step was different when he was there. It was just everything was different, dude. Listen to him zip the ball in Hard Knocks was awesome. You could hear it zipping out of his hand. I was like, and he puts the ball on the money. I mean, he's still going to play. He's still good enough to play better than some of these other crappy quarterbacks. The Giants would have been better off with him than anything they put out there this year.
The Giants, the Saints,
the Raiders,
the Jaguars, the Raiders.
I mean,
is he willing to go to those places? Because that's where he's going to have to go. Money, and you get to still play. You get to still.
He should go play. He should go play for the Steelers. That's
another. Hey, okay.
Either way,
talk about folding like a lawn chair. Look at what they've done. Talk about
it's because Russell Wilson sucks. He sucks. He's terrible.
Why put Fields in?
Well, they hurt. Pickens being hurt did not help them either. And then Pickens come back and he couldn't catch anything. I mean, my God, he dropped so many balls. And
he tried to fight everybody. He spends more time worried about trying to fight people.
Right.
I'm just saying. I don't know. I was never a Wilson fan anyway, so I don't know. I don't know that Wilson's that good.
Hey, the Steelers have needed a new quarterback since Dwayne Haskins got killed. Remember that, Jason?
Oh gosh, I thought he was on the Redskins.
No, he was on. He was on Pittsburgh when he got plowed.
Was he? Oh man,
got plowed by a dump truck.
He was out cheating on his wife with a mistress or whatever.
Whoa, allegedly. Allegedly.
Okay, if you have a woman in your car at 2 a.m. and it's not your wife, then who is it? It's either a prostitute.
Maybe it's a masseuse.
Oh, come on.
Maybe it's a masseuse going to Deshaun Watson's happy ending.
Yeah, well,
you never know.
It's someone you're paying or someone you're seeing behind the person's back. Period. 2 a.m.
Right.
So, yes.
Wait, Chris, what do we
always
say?
They had one. He died. So good.
Nothing good happens after midnight.
Oh, you know how many times my parents told me that and how many times they were correct.
That's right.
A lot.
They were correct. They were correct.
Hey, how about this, though, for a stat? You know, he said Burrows, he had 43 touchdowns. How about Lamar Jackson throws for 4,100 yards, 41 touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions?
Dude, Lamar Jackson and Burrow were on a different planet this year. And Burrow, did you see that Cincinnati's guys want to stay together. So the two main receivers in Chase and Hilton, not Hilton. What Higgins? Is it Higgins? What's his name?
Higgins.
Yeah, they want to keep it together. I mean,
problem is you got to pay them. One was on the franchise tag, and the other one's. I mean, you have to
if
pay
they all
them.
want to stick it out, dude. I would take, if I'm one of them guys, I take a little less money, stay there. You're going to make a lot more money outside of the football game, you know? I don't know.
All the sponsorships and all that. Okay.
Man,
I put
those
this
two,
in a group.
Lamar Jackson's he's just on another planet.
What about Josh Allen, though?
He had a good year, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Arguably MVP.
I mean,
it's either him or Lamar.
The MVP of the league is Lamar Jackson. The second, the runner-up is probably Joe Burrow or Baker Mayfield. Saquon's got to be in the.
He's got to be in the conversation.
That question.
But Baker Mayfield is definitely the comeback player of the year. And dude, everyone that doubted that dude, and everywhere he's went. He's been. I mean, Cleveland has to be going. We're done. You know, you ever see that that meme? We blanked up, and you know that's what. Yeah, Bradley Cooper. That's Cleveland.
Yep.
That's them with every decision they ever make. So
that's 100% true. I think Saquon Barkley is Offensive Player of the Year. I think Lamar is the MVP. And I think the Rookie of the Year is Jaden Daniels. I think it's just boom, 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 like that. Comeback Player of the Year, Baker Mayfield, you can give it to him. He had a good year last year, though.
So it's not necessarily a
comeback.
I Malik Neighbors, the numbers he put up on a terrible team with the Giants. I know he's not Rookie of the Year because of what Daniels did, and Daniels plays the quarterback position. You might as well forget it.
Okay, does Joe Burrow need to leave Cincinnati?
Nope.
Joe Burrow needs to get an offensive line because the guy one of his guards gave up more sacks than any other. He had the
Triple Crown.
Yeah. There's a meme for that one too. A picture of him, and it was like the Triple Crown for offensive linemen giving up sacks and.
Well, you
hey,
might be able to read that.
David, I agree. David, I agree. I think Josh Allen ought to be MVP.
AMI Day.
Oh, you suck.
There you go, Jason. There you go, Jason.
All right. Well, see you later. Go have fun DoorDash.
Yeah. So is Joe Burrow this generation's Dan Marino?
I saw that today.
Ooh. That's tough, though.
He might not be. They can still win a championship.
By the way, we have AMI Day tomorrow.
There, both of you. There you go.
Yeah. Hey, no collusion.
Instacart. Instacart.
I mean, teaching. It's AMI Day.
No collusion. All the superintendents got together and said, "Hey guys, if you guys are going to go to school, we're going to look bad." Okay. That's what happened. It's what happened. Don't lie. That's exactly what they did. Boom. Done.
Yes, I
write it down. Dan Marino.
Yes, it is an AMI Day, Zach. I will post some assignments, and I will be available by email for all my students' needs if they have any.
There you go. Boy, that was like teleprompter. That was
beautiful. I have nothing in front of me.
That was,
dude.
Off the cuff.
Know how to play the game. Wow. That's what you got to do, buddy. Play the game.
Yeah, Zach, you gotta learn these things. You gotta learn you some stuff.
Got cliches. Teacher
to answer this question,
instead of coaching, because coach speak, that was teacher speak right there.
There you go.
Teacher speak. We're gonna make sure we have plenty of rigor on our AMI.
I got plenty of rigor in mine too.
It's very rigorous. We want the kids engaged.
Secondary sources. They're reading.
It's all about enrichment.
Data.
That's right. Oh, sorry, Crumpy. You got
school. Hold on. What school, Crump? Unreal. Down in
they had
Florida?
school last year too. No, he's at gosh, I don't. He'll tell us here in a second what district it is.
All right. Oh my.
Look, now getting the call right there. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got the call. I looked down. I'm like,
Email,
I'd already
call.
gotten some. I'd
Get it
already
all.
heard.
Chris,
already
I
heard
think
we weren't having it anyway. But
there you go,
the fish.
Chris. I think what we need to do is
Hey,
probably need to
what?
take a break and then come back. Then we can hit another topic.
I was gonna answer the
Go ahead.
question. though.
Rockwood. He's in the Rockwood
Is
district.
Rockwood?
Oh,
That's
okay.
right. I couldn't remember.
Different,
I thought it was
different
Summit.
county.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Joe Burrow is going to go down as this generation's Dan Marino if the Bengals do not make an emphasis on improving the defense around him or on the other side of the ball. They've got to do something with their defense. Obviously, they're going to try to fix the offensive line. The offensive line was god awful, but the defense is terrible. And if they can't stop these people, then what
Is
what's
he
the point,
still on a
right?
rookie
They're
contract?
not going to win. No,
Did
he got
okay.
paid.
That's what I'm asking. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he got
And
paid.
this game, Penn
For
State
real.
just scored. Now it's tied. Gonna be tied up again.
Yep.
Notre Dame
Yep.
fans are all shaking in their pants.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and go to our second commercial break. And when we come back, we'll have our third and final segment of the Coach's Box. Call Like We See It podcast. You're watching it. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I'm an overpowered leaf blower, and I'm not exactly street legal.
And if you don't have the right auto coverage, this could really blow your budget. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
It's Between Takes with Daikin and Dave Mars.
Good. All right, next set up.
Hey, Dave, we got another question about energy savings. And this is a good one.
Yeah, efficiency is so important.
Didn't you just talk with Daikin about this?
They said energy efficiency is the key to a happy marriage. She gets the temperature, I get the savings.
Good to know. I'll tell them to check with their local Daikin dealer.
All right, back to one.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com. In the hobby of collecting, check out Elite Collectibles, open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. They carry a wide variety of sports cards, trading cards, magic cards, Pokemon cards, and other non-sports cards. Need some supplies? They also have sleeves, top loaders, boxes, and much, much more. They have online auctions every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and also do bulk grading submissions to SGC and CGC. Check out Elite Collectibles at 1258 Main Street in Imperial, Missouri. You can also view their entire inventory at www.elitecollecting.com.
You need new entertainment. You need full-length content. You need the Real Fresh channel. Hey, I'm How Fresh from the Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today on YouTube. We have new content. We are a network of podcasters putting out new stuff every single day. Whether you need sports, pro or college, whether you need comedies, whether you need pop culture, whether you need wrestling, we've got so much content on there. Gaming, check it out. Live, not live, we've got it all. The Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody, to our third segment of the Coach's Box. Chris had to step away for a second. He'll be right back. And Jarvis. So I don't know if you've heard this or not, but UCLA men's basketball coach Mick Cronin had about a 10-minute tirade. We used to do the timeout tirade. He had about a 10-minute tirade the other day after one of his losses. And I want to read you this quote from him because it's too good not to talk about. And I want to get your opinion on it and see what you think here. So it says, this article on USA Today says, for nearly 10 minutes in front of reporters, Cronin unloaded on UCLA's efforts. He said, here's the quote: "It's really hard to coach people that are delusional. The hungry dog gets the bone. We got guys who think they're way better than they are. They're nice kids. They're completely delusional about who they are and the team whose mind is on the right stuff and hungry to get a win in conference, the play and team and all that who's going to win." Then he goes on to say, "I have to run on the court to get the guys to play hard. It's crazy. It's every day, and I'm tired of it. It's every day. I have the most energy of anybody at practice any day. I'm upset with everybody in that locker room, my assistant coaches and my players. I mean, I don't need to do anything else. I've almost got 500 wins. You think I'm coaching the Lakers, but it's a joke. It's a joke." So, I mean, I watched it, and I want to get your opinion on it. Is as a coach, do you absolutely bash your players, your assistants? You're trying to maybe change something, how things are in the locker room. I mean, his record speaks for itself. Everywhere he's been, he's had well over 60% winning percentage. They were talking about that on ESPN the other day, from Cincinnati to UCLA to whatever his original mid-major team that he was at, Murray State, I think it was, somewhere. Agreed, disagreed, Jarvis? I mean, I'm torn on it. I'm torn.
It's hard to be completely opinionated on this topic here.
Okay.
He can get away with that. He's, like you said, he's got 500 something wins. I mean, I haven't even gotten
close to.
Yeah, I'm 8 games away from 100. So I'm a little. Now I got more losses than I got wins. So get away with that. And I don't know, man. I don't know. And the days of NIL and everything else going on, I don't know how good that's going to carry for him, but it may be true. I mean, what he's saying.
Okay. So does it kind of pull back on the veil of what's going on in locker room culture when you have all of these coaches that are, whether it's football, whether it's basketball? You just had, who was it? Was it Jim Larinaga the other day, the other week or whatever, that stepped down and said, I can't do it anymore. Talking about, like you just said, NIL or the kids or whether it's Gino saying it's no longer.
This was a bunch of the NIL stuff. The older guy, what was his name?
But is it? Yeah, Jim Larinaga.
Yeah.
It's just kind of all encompassing. Is it just a different day and age to where the kids can say, look, I'm going to get paid one way or the other. I'm going to do what I want to do. Where does all of this start? Where does are they different? Are the kids different than when we started teaching and coaching? I mean, is it different at the collegiate level now? And good, bad? I mean, I'm torn on. I'm all for being able to challenge your players, being able to challenge your coaches. You know, Chris and I working together, we had our behind closed doors, our arguments on what we wanted to do and our beliefs and all of that. But at the end of the day, we're gonna go moving forward, trying to go in the right direction. What's best for the team and program. Is saying something like that or doing something like that the best for the program? What do you think?
I didn't want to talk about this.
Okay. All right. That's fine. We'll go someplace.
No, I said fine. I can talk about it though, but I don't think. I mean, maybe in his situation it was or is. I just I don't think that would ever fly at the high school level ever.
Yeah. No, I don't.
It may not have been what's best for his program. I don't know. Man, you get a group. You get a group. Sometimes you get a group of kids that it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
You can try the nice guy. You can be the mean guy. You can be the rah-rah guy. You can be the, okay, I'm not going to say much guy. And you just can't figure that group out.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what it seemed like to me. Maybe he's just got a group of kids that he can't figure out or he can't get to do what he wants.
My thought about it is like, he's not at a public high school. Like, you recruited these players. Like, what? You recruited these guys. You had to know what you're getting into when you sign these guys. I mean, is that so to me, I think, wait a second, how are you going to lambast these guys? You're the one that signed them. Like, if you didn't think that they were going to be hard workers, that's the other side of the coin in my mind. If you didn't think they were going to be good enough or what, why'd you sign them? Like, why didn't you find some lunch pail guys and go that route? I don't know. I mean, obviously we don't know, but it could just be I don't know. It's just a unique situation. So I saw that the other day and I kind of taken aback and I don't know. I don't know. I thought it was a good thing. So, all right, so let's do this. Talk about Tyreek. Do you think he quit on the team? It just seemed odd. He makes the comments that he says and then walk back kind of the next day. What do you think?
I just think he wants out of Miami, and that was kind of his expression of it there at the end.
So
I'm not saying it's good.
Yeah. But, why do you think he wanted out of Miami? Like, it's Miami. Is it the fact that, I don't know, the beat up? Is it what is the coach? Is his shtick running its course? What do you think?
It's Tyreek. We're talking about Tyreek. I mean,
first of all, why'd you want to leave Kansas City? That'd be my question.
And he's kind of your Aaron Brown type, but not as crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, really,
not Antonio.
Antonio Brown. I mean, that's how it's kind of he gives you those vibes. I don't know. I'm sure his teammates weren't. I wouldn't be happy if I was a teammate. I wouldn't be happy with the way he did that at the end. No, but
yeah,
I don't know. I think he's ready to move on. Is the way I felt.
Who picks him up? I mean, are you? If you're a GM, if you're a coach, you're like, hey, let's go grab him, knowing that he might have some of these issues. Oh, there's Chris. Well, Chris, go ahead. Let us know what's going on, and we'll.
Yep.
Oh, I got something that just popped up here. Go ahead and finish your thought here. Real quick.
We're kind of
good.
No, we're done. Yep, we're done.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. No, you're done. We're done. Just like
Yep.
that.
Yeah, I mean, Zach's bringing up a couple topics. I was kind of, you know how he does. He's not a head coach anymore, so he just brings up topics head coaches don't want to really talk about.
Tyreek Hill quit on his team. I agree with that, and I agree that I wouldn't want to be Tyreek Hill's babysitter. I will say that.
I wouldn't either.
It's a lot of kids. That's pretty wild.
That'd be a lot of kids and a lot of mamas.
There's a lot of mamas. A lot of mamas. Well, but yeah, I got to jump off here, and they have no way of turning the show off, so I'm the only one who can do that right now.
He has all the power.
He has the red button.
We've been over this. I have the red button. So anyway, we are going to wrap the show up. We appreciate everybody tuning in for another episode of the Coach's Box Call Like We See It podcast. It's Jason, you better drink a Red Bull before you go out there and deliver some DoorDash. And anyway, we appreciate you guys tuning in, being a part of it, and we will see you guys all again next week. Good night, God bless,
Bye-bye.
and deuces.
This episode of the Coach's Box Call It Like We See It podcast is brought to you by Off the Rails Media. Life's